Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your September bonus reading. Sorry, I feel like I need to just give this like two more quick shuffles. And so I always listen when I need to do that. And there we go. I feel like that is better. So sorry about that. But you start here with this unicorn. It says good fortune and friendship. You have this queen card. It says love and prosperity. Yeah, these are two good energies for you, I think. I think it is an amazing time for socializing for Cancer. So like love, friendship, like that type of love, right, would be very good for you, I feel. And yeah, I mean, also great time for you to build prosperity, but we're going to see how. I feel like saying that, Cancer, it's like how? Like maybe that's the question you're asking, Cancer. Like how am I going to build this prosperity, right? Or like what do I need to do to build this prosperity? So that is something we will look at here. In your current general energies here, this very first card, which is how you enter into the Celtic cross, you have the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords can represent a separation, breakup, walking away from something. It can represent all sorts of things, right? I think you definitely need to be. Here's the weird thing. Let me back up a little bit and say this. First off, we have this two eclipses, one in Pisces. So being in a water sign, Pisces, the eclipse, there is something about this eclipse that is triggering people on the past, right? You have the Five of Swords, you have the Ten of Swords, you have the Judgment card here. This can all represent past energy. Now, do I think it's bad? No. I actually like the Ten of Swords because it can represent the past, but it is a blessing in disguise, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But the Five of Swords, sometimes I feel is about taking the risk of walking away from the past. And maybe that's what you have to release right now, Cancer, especially with two eclipses. One thing about eclipses is we have to release something. That is how we can work with the energy. So, it's clear to me that maybe you probably are not exactly clear, and we'll talk about this in a second, about like how to release something. But I think you have to maybe either release part of your old story, so that you can have something better, right? In whatever area of life that is. You have the Queen of Swords as your crossing energy. Again, the crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you in a Celtic cross. I feel like you need clarity. The good news is, here, Cancer, that you have the Ace of Swords in the area of what's on your mind, which is great clarity, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But, again, the Queen of Swords, she kind of has clouds halfway up her body. She is clear for the first time, but, sometimes in a reading like this, especially crossing, she can represent needing to be clear or needing to get clarity. Kind of the funny thing as well, Cancer, is like, look, on the table, she is kind of reaching out up to the Ace of Swords. I'm wondering here, Cancer. I just say I'm wondering because I actually don't know. I don't feel this intuitively. And I consider myself more an intuitive reader. But, just looking at how these cards are set up, I'm wondering if there is like an easy answer. So again, this is not an intuitive message, but I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying, Cancer. I'm picking up something here about you kind of grabbing onto the sword and getting an easy answer. I'm wondering if you're wondering, right? Like that word keeps popping into my head intuitively. So I kind of feel like you are wondering about something. And this card is like saying, stop wondering, go get the answer, right? The Ace of Swords, it's like sometimes we have to take charge with the Ace of Swords and kind of, get the answer we're hoping for or not. And so it's like if there's something you want to know, I would just go get the answer, plain and simple. The other thing about the Ace of Swords is that like sometimes I think the Ace of Swords comes up when we are making some sort of sacrifice in our life that is a little bit scary. You have the Five of Swords, you have the Ten of Swords here. It's like one of those things where it's like I don't really have any good examples, but it's like sometimes if we want to move, it's like we have to sacrifice. We're not really sacrificing anyone, but we have to sacrifice certain relationships because maybe if we want to move far away, we aren't going to be able to see those people anymore, or at least not as much, right? And so, I kind of get that popping into my head as well, Cancer. I'm getting a lot of messages off of this card, so we're just going to work our way through them, but I feel like some of you could be thinking that. Same thing with love as well. It's like, in love, sometimes maybe we do have to make a sacrifice to have it. Like we have to make the sacrifice of independence, right? Obviously, to be with a person, you have to actually like literally be with them, which means that you can't spend 100% of your time alone anymore, right? That can be a little bit of a sacrifice. So, it's like one of those things. I think this is talking about literally everything in your life. You could be looking at something that you have to cut out so that you can have something better. 2 people have already had this card in these bonus readings that I've done so far. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to get it. It is a very eclipse energy, the Ace of Swords, because, again, eclipses usually require us to cut one thing out so we can have something better, and that's definitely popping into my head there. You have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is about being enthusiastic. I think you should follow your enthusiasm. We go 6 of Pentacles to the Judgment card. The Page of Wands, he doesn't really have a good reason for going on the adventure he's going on. He just is doing it. He just, he's excited about something and he's basically following his excitement. The Judgment card, these people are being called up out of these coffins by their higher self angel here. And the coffin represents their old life. Outside the coffin is their new life. And they are needing to step into their new life. Again, I forgot to say this, but this is your foundation position, this bottom position. It says, this month, being adventurous will lead to a solid foundation in your life. So I would definitely focus on that here, Cancer. Next, in the area of your past position, you have this fleeting flare path card. It says, something in your life will be brief, not meant to stay in your life forever. 10 of Swords. You get this card with me every single reading. I kid you not. It says the time is now. It says it's time to act now without hesitation. Move past the old and move forward. 10 of Swords, Ace of Swords, 6 of Pentacles, 3 of Wands, Judgment. All this stuff is saying this. So again, definitely, it's coming up in the past, which is kind of good actually, because the past position is the energy you are moving past, Cancer. And so you've been getting cards like this with me forever, and it's kind of nice to it's kind of nice that it's coming up in the past because it could be saying you're finally moving past this energy. You have the Queen of Pentacles in the past. I feel like whatever you're doing now is these are the words I'm getting here, Cancer. It's like whatever you're doing now is going to work. So if you're working on something new financially or for the hopes of a brighter future financially, yes. That's literally what's popping into my head with this Queen of Pentacles. So, especially for those of you that are working on something new. Sometimes I feel Queen of Pentacles in a past situation is kind of like scraping by. She's not really hurting financially, but she's a card of resourcefulness. So it's like she's having to be resourceful. It's like maybe she's not totally broke, but she's kind of just getting by. You know what I mean? Which I think basically 99% of people in the world right now are. So, that's kind of where things are going. I would say that the good news for everyone is Neptune and Pisces. I've been talking about this since 2016. I believe by the time we get to 2026, that there's going to be some sort of change in money. And hopefully it's good. So I don't know. we're gonna find out, right? But again, I think on a personal level, we could all be coming up with ways to improve our finances. Again, if you're doing something new to make more money, I definitely feel that you need to keep going. And it is interesting. We go from the Queen of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles here. So King of Pentacles is very good for stability, growth, all that other stuff. Also, divine counterparts. You always, definitely an earth sign could be coming in for you, Cancer. I'm pretty sure you always get this. I always make the joke with you about Taurus. Every Cancer I know is married to a Taurus. I kid you not. So, for the most part. So, again, Cancer and Taurus works. I mean, it could just be a person who has earth in their chart. This is Capricorn. That's Taurus. Could be fiery as well. But, again, the problem with these two is they're not doing anything. I like the King and Queen of Pentacles, but there as I've probably said to you about 20 times in the past 6 months now, there needs to be something, a little bit of spiciness here. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have the Synchronicity card and the Seek Healing card. Amazing time for healing, for sure. We have a lot of great healing energy. I would be paying attention to synchronicities. I think the universe is trying to get your attention. I feel like the universe is actually getting a little bit impatient. I feel like this type of energy here, where it's like the universe is snapping at you now. Here, it's like the universe is tapping its foot, Cancer, on something. Didn't I say this to you a couple months ago? I'm pretty sure it was you, because I remember saying that as well. But it's like I get that energy. It's like the universe wants you to invest in something, and I'm not talking about financially. And as a matter of fact, we will have Uranus going retrograde, and Uranus will be retrograding back into Taurus on November 7th. I'm pretty sure it's right at the beginning of November. And, what I would say about that energy is, again, maybe we shouldn't invest financially into anything. If we can be resourceful, Queen of Pentacles, that would be a lot better. And it would be better for us to make sure we're doing our research. Again, Uranus and Taurus doesn't like get rich quick. Uranus and Taurus wants us to know why we are doing something. So if you're investing time, effort, energy, attention into anything, why? Can you answer that question? And if the answer is yes, great, then do it. If the answer is no, then you need to figure out why, right? It shouldn't just be, oh, I'm going to, invest money into this because my cousin told me to, right? Bad idea. If you say to yourself, oh, I'm going to invest in this stock on the stock market because I've read every single paper and I've read the New York Times and I know the ins and outs of this company, I've talked to the CEO, and I know all this stuff, then great. There you go. That will be successful. But same thing in love as well. It's like if you find a person, you're like, this person has a six-pack, yes, I'm going to jump into bed with them right now. No, bad idea, right? But if you meet a person, you go on a couple dates and you say, oh, this person seems like a good person, and they also I can see the evidence in their life that they are who they say they are because I'm paying attention to the evidence, right? Then good, great. Then jump into bed. But if not, I would be very careful. Where was I going with this? I don't know. Six of Pentacles, investments. Where you invest your time. Very important. Next in your outcome row, you have this patience card and this freedom card. I think you are setting yourself free from your own mental prison. Queen of Swords looking up to that Ace of Swords to the Ten of Swords here, right? There is definitely something about that, like that you have, like you could easily go get some answers by, probably how you invest your energy into things with that Six of Pentacles, and that will probably set you free. I feel like you're done being patient anyway. I think your patience is about to be rewarded, really, is what this reading is saying to me. Next, over the next few months, you have the Ten of Swords. Yeah, probably releasing a lot. I actually don't feel bad about this at all. I know the Ten of Swords gets a bad rap in the tarot, I feel. Personally, I like the Ten of Swords because it just says something is done. And now it's time to find the blessing. He's making the symbol right here that the Hierophant is making on his card, which represents a blessing. So the Ten of Swords can absolutely say if something has reached its logical conclusion in your life, and it could be anything. Could be a mindset, could be a belief, could be how you live your life, could be something you're doing. But the trick with the Ten of Swords is, again, to get up off the ground. He is dead. The whole point of the card is that he needs to realize he's dead and that there are other things that he could be doing in his life, right? So he really has to, make those changes, and that's pretty much what I would do with the Ten of Swords. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the Three of Wands. This represents all relationships in your life. I do think it would be a good time for Cancer to take up more space in their connections, their relationships. This could, I kind of get that center stage feeling as well, where it might be a good time for you to take center stage in your connections, to be the center of attention or to get attention. But this could be saying that maybe you need attention. If you're feeling lonely or whatever, it's maybe you need to, it's saying there are people who will make you their object of attention. So maybe you need to go talk to those people in your life, like friends, family, things like that. The Three of Wands would also say you need to expand out into the world to find better connections. He needs to get on these boats and go on an adventure to find whatever he's looking for. So, again, if you're looking for better connections, I would say now is the time. But you're going to have to get out into the world to find those connections or to meet new people, which I think would be great for you here, Cancer. I think it would be great for you to meet new people, put yourself out there, all that other good stuff. That's probably where you're going to find more exciting connections, exciting people. Next, in your future feelings, you have the Judgment card, which is great. Judgment is that clarity. These people are they are answering the call. We were talking about this with the Queen of Swords and the Ace of Swords. So I think in the near future, you will be feeling oh, I have a direction. I have an answer. I know what to do now, right? And so I think that there is clarity. The thing with you, Cancer, is Six of Pentacles, right? You're not going to get clarity thinking about something. You're going to get clarity planting seeds. So, it's it kind of reminds me of my students, right? I teach YouTube on the weekends, and a lot of them will say, should I do this? Should I do that? I'm always like, well, just do it. Because you are not going to know unless you don't actually plant the seed and see if it's going to work or not for you. I know that's not a good answer because people want to know that things are going to work, but life doesn't work that way. And the other thing is, by the way, a big life lesson that YouTube has taught me is that it's someone can tell you what works and what doesn't work all day long. but until you actually try it, you don't know. There are so many things I do on this channel that don't work according to the experts. I publish 4 videos at once, right? Which doesn't work according to the YouTube experts. Seems to work for me, right? So, again, the YouTube experts will tell you that publishing 4 videos like I do at once every single day, in 3 on the weekdays, right? That all those videos are competing against each other. But I don't know, works for me, right? There are many things like that. The Judgment card to me is kind of like, in the Six of Pentacles, it's kind of like saying that. It's like people can tell you things all day long, but until you actually do it for yourself, you don't know. So I feel it's saying like it would be a good time for you to try things. Your outcome is a King of Pentacles. Yeah, pretty good. I feel like this needs more excitement though. I do think it would be a good time for Cancer to be a little bit more risky. Yeah, I don't think you have to go crazy here or anything like that. But it's like, and maybe I said this to you recently. I think I did say something similar. It's like instead of I think what I said to you is, if you were starting a YouTube channel, for example, instead of starting with 1 video, like start with 5, right? And like make that bigger commitment to something and just see where it goes, right? Like what would happen if you took the risk? I don't know. I don't know, right? You're going to have to find out for yourself. Yeah, it's a risk. The King of Pentacles is also amazing for money. So, again, I kind of felt that on that Queen of Pentacles, that she's talking about future money. I feel like she's saying that maybe you've been kind of scraping by a little bit here, and now your finances can improve. With the Five of Swords and the Queen of Swords, you have the King of Swords. I mean, literally, how many readings have I done for you, Cancer, where these two come up? Like 1 million, probably? So, I don't know. A lot. And yeah, I do, people think I'm joking when I say 1 million, right? I was looking at my stats. I published 410 videos in the last month. So literally, I probably have posted 1 million videos. That includes shorts, by the way. So that's how I hit those numbers, right? But I publish 96 readings a month. And, so literally, the past 1 million readings that I've done for you, Cancer, I almost called you Pisces, I think you've been getting this combination. So King and Queen of Swords are like two people who are not seeing eye to eye. I normally do not like the King and Queen of Swords because they don't see eye to eye. But the benefit here is this, is if the Queen of Swords comes up first, because she is reaching out to the King of Swords here. So I don't know. If you are like dealing with a person, I feel like there needs to be more communication or something. This could also be business or work related as well. I'm actually I would be careful in work or business of like who's pulling what weight, So if you're like wanting to start a business with a person, I would make sure you are very clear on what they do and what you do, right? With the Ace of Swords, you have the Fool. Yes, you're definitely going to have to take a leap of faith here, Cancer. I feel like you already know that you have to take a leap of faith towards something. Five of Swords is risk-taking. We talked about it. The Fool has to take the risk of looking like a fool to get what he wants. The Ace of Swords says it's going to be a victory, so, whatever this is, I would go for it here, Cancer. With the Page of Wands, you have the Four of Wands. Yes, so, sure, could be love, marriage, blah, blah, blah. But, here's the thing, is I feel right now, with Saturn retrograding into Pisces, we need to make a commitment to one thing. Like, literally, the secret sauce with this retrograde is that you pick one thing and you see it through to the end. With this Saturn energy. Saturn just wants us to be responsible for something. But, again, I literally just said this to Pisces. It's funny that I almost called you Pisces. But I think for the water signs, especially because it's retrograding into Pisces, the secret sauce for water signs is even if you could just give something like 1 dedicated hour per day. Like if you want to work on a project or a friendship, or if you want to work on a hobby, right? Just saying to yourself, I'm going to give this 1 hour a day, whatever it is. It could be your health. It could be your wellness. It could be your mindset, whatever it is, right? And then if you stick to that, you will win, plain and simple, right? And that is what I am definitely going to encourage all the water signs to do, because I want you to win, plain and simple. I think there are a lot of wins that could happen here. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Swords. There you go. It's like, here's the other thing as well. It's like maybe you finally are getting the resources necessary to have this victory with the Ace of Swords. The Queen of Pentacles is kind of scraping by. She's having to find little bits of resources here and there. This could even be time. It's like, sometimes we want to work on something, but we just don't have the time, right? And so I feel like you're finally getting any type of resource you need. With the Six of Pentacles, there you go. Again, you can, like every single reading, you get the King of Wands. It's like there's the spiciness we need between these two right here. The King of Wands is also about being bold and assertive, which I do think would be very good for all water signs to be more bold, assertive, confident. Getting into that space mentally, I think would be extra helpful. Sure, well, we're going to take both of these. The card I pulled was the Three of Pentacles. The Star wanted to come out with it, but with the Ten of Swords, you have the Three of Pentacles and the Star, which is definitely good. Three of Pentacles says teamwork makes the dream work. Definitely a good time for teamwork, but again, the important thing about the Three of Pentacles is that this guy here is the leader. Like, he is the one getting credit for the work from these two people, right? And so I think that's important for you, Cancer. It's like you need to be center stage. Didn't I literally say that? I think I said that. And there you go. There's some confirmation for you. But, again, there's a little bit of confirmation. Three of Pentacles says teamwork makes a dream work. So you need to, make sure you're focusing on a dream, or, focusing on a team. The Star is the dream, is where I was going with that. The Star is about having a single focus. It is about having a North Star. It is like about having that guiding light, that one thing that you focus on, that you manifest and create, right? So there you go. With the Three of Wands, you have the Temperance card. Temperance is patience, and I feel like you have been patient. Didn't you have that card that said that or something? Am I making that up? Oh, no, it's right here. So, yes, you have this patience card. Like I said earlier, I think your patience is being rewarded. I also feel like you need to claim your crown here, Cancer, which I'm pretty sure I've said to you, but, this is coming up in the area of your closest relationships. We have a crown at the top of the Ace of Swords, right? Right here. It's like this is a crown that you can claim, but you have to go and claim it. Queen of Swords, looking up to that Ace of Swords. Sorry, too many Swords cards. I'm getting all tongue-tied here. But with this right here, the crown, sometimes I feel like the Temperance card, it's like the Temperance Angel is waiting for a perfect moment when there never will be a perfect moment. And so the Temperance Angel needs to get off on this path and go claim his crown, right? And it's like there's nothing more for him to do. He just has to go and get it. And I kind of feel that for some of you. Here you go. With the Judgment card, you have the Cups. You are definitely walking away from something. Really, Cancer, but it's not like a big deal. It's just like things that no longer serve you. The whole point, we have this eclipse in Pisces. Eight of Cups to me says do not settle. He is walking away from something. The whole point of the card is that he is walking away from something that does provide him with something. These 8 cups. But it just isn't like quite right. It's not exactly what he wants. So he has to take the risk of walking into darkness to hopefully find something better. He doesn't know though, right? That is the risk with this card, is he doesn't know what the future holds. But he has to find out anyway. And I think that's what you could be doing here. With the King of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Wands. Yeah, Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. It says when a lot of this reading here, Cancer, is talking about confidence, is what I would say to you. The King of, the Seven of Wands says when you know that something is for you, then it will be for you. But yet, you really have to go for something. So, you have to commit to an outcome. Ace of Swords, Star, it's like you have to pick one thing this month and make it happen. You have 2 unicorn cards, by the way. You have that good fortune and friendship card. You have this unicorn card. It says use your intuition to make beneficial changes. Yes, definitely time to trust your intuition. Some of you could be attracting a little bit of a unicorn of an opportunity as well. I'm getting there could be something coming in for you that makes you really successful. You have this Throne card. It says position of authority. 3 of Pentacles. You need to be the authority here. Like if you're doing anything in work or business, or if you're putting your work on display, I think you need to make sure that you are getting all the credit. It's like people can come in and help you, and they can come in a support position, but it's kind of like your turn to be the center of attention is what I said, or something similar to that. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I think you need to try to be the center of attention. Maybe that makes you uncomfortable being the center of attention, but again, that's what I would do if I were you. And I think you need to do things to get more attention. It's like, where do you hide, Cancer? And I'm not calling you out or anything like that, but it's like we all do these, we all do things where we try and that we hide behind. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if that's a good one right there. I literally just did it. Some of you probably know what I'm talking about without me needing to say it, right? It's like sometimes in my readings I apologize for things that I shouldn't apologize for, because if someone doesn't like it, F them. That should be my attitude, right? So I can't please everybody, right? So like sometimes I'm a little bit too much of a people pleaser. I've been trying to get better at it, and it's like, who cares, right? And so it's like those are things that I need to cut out. It's like, what are you hiding behind that you need to cut out? I don't know, it just popped into my head. And again, we all have things to work on. Like I said, I'm far from freaking perfect. You have this turkey card that says someone is behaving stupidly. We are definitely in a time where I believe we need to be careful of people who are behaving stupidly. So there you go. You have this candle that says you will be shown the way. Yeah, you definitely have some things here that say you are going to get clarity. Queen of Swords, Ace of Swords, Star, good stuff. And I can't make this up. You have this lion. It says time to act. I'm pretty sure you always get this card with me as well, which is crazy. So there you go. Definitely time to make your move. Time to do whatever you're doing here, Cancer. But looks pretty good. I do like this. So thank you for being here. And definitely enjoy your month.